Here we go.
Gotta get the vibes going, man. Gotta get the vibes going. Gotta get the good luck vibes going. It's NBA Talk with Jay, guys. Every single day we're here giving out free NBA picks. If you can, hit the like button, subscribe, and retweet the show as well on Twitter. We basically work for you guys, man. So I'm the host, Jay Money. We got our guy Rob Veno here with us. It's Money Making Mondays. We cash when Rob comes on. What's up with you, Rob? How you doing over at Wade Talk?
Hey, I am good today, Jay. We're in that busy cycle of season, right? And we're coming off a holiday weekend where try to cram a lot of stuff into a couple of days, but now we're back with an open week here to study a little college basketball, NBA basketball. I mean, it's loaded, but it's all good. I always say I wouldn't have done this for as long as I've done it if I didn't love it. So there's no complaining here, Jay. We're happy to go at it again today. Every day they give us games and point spreads, so I'm happy to have that every day.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right with that. Let's try to get to some cash here, Rob. It's all business. Let's go over here to the streets of Philly here, man. We're going straight to the streets of Philadelphia. We got the 76ers here, basically now laying a point here at some spots here. So there is some question marks. Joel Embiid may be coming back today. Starting to see Philly here as the favorite, laying a point here on the road. So you can actually get the Hawks as an underdog here. We know that Joel Embiid is questionable here, Rob. He's maybe, I guess, supposed to be coming back here, but this is the 5th game in 7 nights for the 76ers. I know me personally, I'd like to wait for Embiid to come back in, and then I'd like to hop on the Hawks here. It's the Hawks the only way I could look at this game here, Rob.
Well, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. I mean, give Philly credit. What they've done, as shorthanded as they are over the course of the last 5 games or so, to get the W's that they got is really good for that team. But my first inclination, Jay, was exactly what you said. I want to play Atlanta. Couldn't get to it because we know that in these back-to-back situations, ultimately we know people are going to get rested. And you just don't know. Like yesterday, I go off the rails here for just half a second. Yesterday, I played Milwaukee extremely early, just under the assumption that Luka had played 42 minutes the night before, and Luka has been rested in the second of a back-to-back already this year. So let's take the shot that I'm going to get the good price now and not wait till Luka gets announced out and you don't get that price. Well, of course, Luka plays. So if we guess, we're wrong. If we wait, we're late. It's very, very difficult with these injury reports nowadays. I am with you, though. I think that Philly, the way they shot the basketball, Jay, it's just not sustainable. Again, I don't think the 133 they put up against Orlando, I don't think will happen here. And vice versa. I'm a big bounce back guy. And Atlanta just hasn't looked good and didn't look good in their last game. And I expect a bounce back from that offense. So I'm on the Atlanta side. I kind of have the same feeling as you. Let's get Embiid in the game so that we can get a better price on the Hawks. The Hawks seem to play up to competition, too. I mean, they're just not intimidated by road venue, especially this one because they beat Philly in a playoff series a couple of years ago.
Exactly. No, you make some good points there. Hawks definitely have they have some experience going up against Philly, like you said. So Hawks, I can't believe they dropped the game yesterday to the Heat. They had playoff revenge in that game. Obviously, the Heat are somewhat the walking wounded right now. So it was kind of crazy to see the Hawks falter out in that game. Maybe looking ahead to this one, but regardless, one Embiid in there, you'll get peak motivation from the Hawks as well. Hawks, they need Capella in there as well. They hadn't looked so well the past couple of games without Capella. So, but regardless, this would be a major rest advantage spot if you ask me. So Hawks, the only way I could look those are the main spots that you really want to come up with a play with, like when it's 5th and 7, stuff like that, 3rd and 4, back-to-back, all that good stuff. So horrible spot for the Sixers if you ask me. Would like to see Embiid come back, and then I'd be looking towards the Hawks at that one. Let's go over here to the streets of Toronto here. We got the Raptors. This line is up to 3.5 now with the Cavs. Jared Allen is out, but LeVert is coming back here. Now, a bunch of good moving parts here for the Raptors as well. You got Scotty Barnes, game time decision. Pascal Siakam may come back here tonight as well. Rob, how you looking at this game? You think the Raptors can take care of the Cavs once again for the second time this year?
I kind of like the other side, Jay. I kind of like Cleveland, and it would probably, to make some sense of what we're talking about, people just tuning in for the first time or just getting into betting might think, what are those guys nuts? They want Atlanta if Embiid comes back. But The reasoning behind it, just so we can explain ourselves real quick here, Jay, and especially in this Toronto case where you said a lot of moving parts, and it's big when units haven't played together for a bunch of days, and now all of a sudden they're going to come back first time and maybe play together. You want to be against that. You don't really want to be with that, even though they're the big name guys. You like to. There's bound to be some rust. There's bound to be some miscommunication on the floor, all kinds of stuff. So that being said, I was on the Cleveland side yesterday. To the Detroit Pistons' credit, I did not believe that was a team, Jay, that could survive the amount of key injuries that they have, go through a West Coast road trip and do nothing but cash tickets, then fly all the way back home. I mean, one of the best things about the NBA, one of the best times to play is when a team's in their first home game after a long road trip. You want to play against that team. Instead, Detroit still, with the multiple injuries, gets the job done against Cleveland. Cleveland got it done second half. I think, Cleveland has not shot well for 2 games straight, Jay, 39% and 43%. Unlike Cleveland, they're a better shooting team than that. Just to give the listeners or viewers some numbers to back that up. The 4 games prior to the last 2, Cleveland had shot 53% or better from the floor in every single game. So I said it earlier, I'm kind of a bounce back guy when it comes to NBA. If you go out and perform well below expectations, I just expect everything to come back to the mean, and I think that'll happen here with Cleveland. I think they'll shoot better. They've played pretty good defense for what it's worth. There's a potential I could play over here, Jay. Over 214, I think is a bit too low. Toronto, every single game other than 2 this entire month has gone over the number of 214. We don't necessarily think of Toronto as an over team, but again, 214 is not your standard number in the NBA, right? We're used to looking at mid-high 220s, 230s. 214 is a low price. So I think I could look 2 ways here. I could look Cleveland, but I think more definitively, I'd like to look over. I think Cleveland shoots the ball well here tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Raptors not really the biggest shooting team as well. They don't really shoot a ton of threes as well. They like to get a lot of their points in the paint. So it'd be nice to have Allen in there. I didn't like what I saw yesterday. I mean, I can't believe I probably wouldn't have played Cavs first quarter and I saw them starting Robin Lopez. What the hell are we doing? You can still start Mobley at the 5, especially versus a small ball team versus the Pacers. Like the Pistons. I feel like even maybe you want to start Lopez maybe versus the Raptors because you're going to need length in there. You're going to need rebounding to go up against all those lone guys. So nothing for me on this game. Obviously, the Cavs should bounce back. They do have revenge versus the Raptors as well. I'd like to have Allen out there, but they did get LeVert back, so maybe Cavs come out with a little bit better start. 3rd straight home game for the Raptors. No bet for me in this game. Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here, Rob. We got the Pelicans laying 5.5 points versus the Thunder. I know Ingram is doubtful in here. CJ McCollum's out. Larry Nance Jr. and Najee Marshall questionable on this one. Do you think the Thunder continue to be a feisty underdog here, Rob?
I do. And no reason to think that they won't, right, Jay? The problem is the price has gone way down, right? And I guess I shouldn't say that because due to New Orleans' injury, the price has gone down. Otherwise, we'd probably be staring at the 8.5, 9, the stuff that Oklahoma City is customary to getting when they're on the road. But they do give you 48 minutes, Jay, and SGA doesn't let up, and the rest of them don't let up. And they have more, actually, unlike last season, they have more good shooting nights than bad. And last season, they were all about youth and pace, but the pace didn't really matter. The tempo didn't matter when it came to playing over the total because they shot so poorly so often. So, yeah, it's great to get 98 shots up at the hoop, but if you're only going to make 42 of them, who cares? But this year, they're playing the same pace. They're making shots. SGA finds his way to the foul line on top of everything else. So, yeah, I expect them to be good. And I tell you the truth, I still don't think, and maybe you have a different feeling on this, we'll find out. I don't think that when Oklahoma City walks into somebody's building, they respect them yet. And I think Oklahoma City plays up to that. What a great coaching job by Daniel there for Oklahoma City. And they seem to have, for such a young team, they seem to have pretty good leadership, Jay. I mean, a lot of that youth has been like a nucleus. It's been together for 3 years or so now. I think if I had to, and I did not play this game, I think if I had to, though, I would look the underdog way. And I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma City takes this team right to the wire again. They seem to do it to everybody. There's no reason to keep banging your head against a wall and playing or fading OKC. It's a team that's making you money. I think I would be that way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, OKC has definitely been a feisty underdog here. My only problem here is that the Pelicans are another great coach team as well. They're coming off an absolute blowout loss versus the Memphis Grizzlies there. So that's the only thing that I don't like. You talk about the bounce back factor. I wouldn't be surprised if they were be able to bounce back. I always talk about Zion. I mean, one thing about the Thunder, they have really great guards, and they usually have the guard advantage. But one thing they don't have is the paint advantage here. You're going up against Zion and Valanciunas, even guys like Jackson Hayes, even the guys coming off the bench here, I feel like could do well in this spot as well. But this could be a game where, regardless of the spread, Mike could look at some Zion Williamson props here. I'm not sure who's going to guard him, not sure who's going to stop him from rebounding or getting whatever he wants inside the paint here. So I don't have a play on the toe. Too many. I don't have a play on the side. Too many injuries for me. The Thunder can be a feisty underdog, and like Rob said, if you're not taking them serious, they can come in there in your gym and beat you straight up as well. So tough game for me, but I still would slightly lean towards the Pelicans for them coming off such a bad loss, and them when getting whatever they want in the paint. I still lean their way, but I hadn't laid the points with them there. Rob makes some really good points for the Thunder, and Nelwyn could be a good over spot. Nelwyn, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah here, Rob. We got the Jazz land 2 points here versus the Bulls. Line starting to come down. It opened up at 2.5, coming down from 1.5. Do you agree with the line move here? Obviously, the Jazz have been one of the more surprised teams in the league here. Money's coming against them in theory. Not public money, but you like anything in this game?
I kind of like the way the Bulls are playing at this point, Jay. Now, again, a team that was playing real well a couple of games before, right? They go toe-to-toe with Boston and Milwaukee, and then OKC walks in, and like I said before, OKC, oh, well, they're OKC, and guess what? Chicago gets the loss outright. But I do, they're as healthy as they've been all year long, which is good for the Bulls to have all the players in place. I think Billy Donovan's done a pretty good coaching job there. Not to say that Utah hasn't been maybe the surprise of the entire league so far to be where they are. And with Mike Conley out, Jay, I feel like having Colin Sexton in there at starting point guard, might be even a little better now. Boy, he looks really happy where he's at in that lineup. And I should say that about the entire team, because last year we talked an awful lot about how Utah didn't even like each other. The Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, all the way down the line, they just didn't like each other. But this is a different bunch. Game will be played at pace. I took a look at the total, potentially to look over, because Utah loves to play it that way. And the Bulls, for that matter, can score as well. So that would be like half of a look. And the other half would be towards the Bulls. I couldn't talk anybody off the Bulls if you're already there. I'm not. And I don't think I would talk you off of over. I may get there myself in some form with over in that game. I just think it'll be a high-scoring game. And the Bulls are playing pretty good offensively right now. I had some numbers here. The 2 games against Boston and Milwaukee, who are regarded as really good defensive teams, 51% from the floor, 49.5% from the floor. If you can shoot that against those 2 teams, you could shoot 53, 54 against this team.
Yeah, that's some good looks there, Rob. I like what you said. I couldn't talk you off the Bulls here. Kind of like the Bulls, man. I'm not in a hurry to bet against the Jazz. Obviously, they are regressing to the mean. Really hot start, but we knew that at some point they're going to come back down to earth. Another key point here, man. Lauri Markkanen is questionable with a knee injury, Rob. I'm not sure about you, but usually, obviously these are young guys, but I always say with a knee injury, any little sorts of pain or soreness, and you kind of want to just go ahead and give the guy a day off. Obviously, you don't want to lose a guy for a year and a half with any type of ACL injury. So he did bang knees with someone last game, stayed in, played the rest of the game, but it's all the more reason why I could be really sore after the game there. So you never know. He could suit up here, but Markkanen is questionable. Obviously would like the Bulls a whole lot more if he's out. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz lost their 5th straight game here. You said it. Bulls are starting to pick up steam. Had a letdown spot in OKC overtime after beating 2 of the better teams in the NBA, and the Bucks and the Celtics as well. So they've shown they can beat and hang with the best of them as well. They've had 2 days off rest. I like the Bulls, man. I like the Bulls plus the 1.5, plus the 2, plus the 1.5. I do think that they win this game, my guys. Let's go over to the street. Got a couple more games here. Going to the streets of Sacramento here, Rob. We got the Kings here, laying a point versus the Phoenix Suns in this one. In recent history, they have played really well versus the Suns. I know they're 6-2 against the spread last 8 meetings, 7-3 against the spread last 10 meetings. For whatever reason, they've seemed to match up well with the Suns. And that was when, I think, interesting point, that's when the Suns were a lot better, in my opinion, and the Kings were a lot worse. Now the Kings are actually starting the ball here, starting to pick up steam here. Rob, what do you think? Do you think the Kings can get the win here tonight?
Yeah, again, I'll go back to the bounce back. Right, Sacramento had been 7-1 against the spread, and then the last two games happened. But it was bound to happen, Jay. You're not going to shoot the way they've shot. And I wish I had saved this number for you. And I'm not going to say it because I'll quote it wrong, and somebody will jump me for giving wrong numbers out. But the 3-point percentage that De'Aaron Fox individually and that the Kings had been shooting for, I think, the course of 4 games was outrageously better than what it was last year. And you can't expect it to continue every game. So they had a little letdown against Atlanta offensively, a little letdown, poor shooting against Boston offensively. I think all that comes back tonight. Phoenix, since Chris Paul went down, since the injuries have happened to this team, they haven't been much in the way of 4 full quarters worth of defense like they would normally be. They've been more of, let's get up and down the floor and outscore people. They've done a good job winning games, no doubt. But I'm glad, I think we were on here a couple of Mondays ago. And if I'm right, I think I said to you at that time, might have been a different show, Jay, I get them mixed up. But I believe I said that Sacramento to me was an under the radar team. I really like this team, and I like what Mike Brown is doing over there. It's a different coach. It's not Luke Walton anymore, guys. It's Mike Brown. Championship pedigree, comes from Greg Popovich's tree over to Golden State. I mean, he's done nothing but win. And they've got some habits now, Jay, that are winning habits that they never had before. You know what I mean?
Defense.
So for prop players out there, just keep an eye on this. Keegan Murray has been abysmal from the field 2 straight games. I would expect him to be good here. I don't think he'll draw Mikal Bridges as the assignment, power forward, small forward. I don't think so I don't worry about that too much defensively. Maybe if you're playing props, you look at Murray, but I'm going to look at the Kings. I think they're an up-and-coming team. And I think when you're playing inside the division, if you're an upstart, you got to start making your way up somewhere. So these are very, very important games, ones that they circle. Phoenix doesn't necessarily circle the Kings. Oh, it's only the Kings. But believe me, the Kings want to play. So I think the shooting comes back here tonight. They've been a real high-scoring team. I'll take my chances that they can outscore Phoenix in this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, Rob liking the Kings in this one, right? Yeah, I couldn't talk you off. They've lost the last 2 or in the bounce back spot, 4-1 against the spread last 5 versus the Suns there. And like I say, more key point is that the Kings hadn't always been this good as well, right? New coaching change. They got Keegan Murray, they got Malik Monk as well. They got Huerter from the Hawks. So this team is rounded into form. They're playing defense. Love Davion Mitchell coming off the bench. He's somewhat like a Jose Alvarado. He takes the challenge of one of the best player out there as well whenever he's on the floor. You got Monk coming off the bench as well. Sabonis is doing well. I couldn't talk you off here, Rob. I might ride with you here on the Kings, my guy. I definitely think it could be the side here as well. Definitely lean the Kings here. Last game up that we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the Lakers. We're going to the streets of LA here, Rob. We got the Lakers laying 3 points. This line was at 5, and it's come down to 3. So some sharp money coming in on the Pacers here. Do you agree with this line coming down, or do you even agree with the Lakers being the favorite here?
Yeah, I'm backtrack for a minute here, Jay, because every time we go through a game, then I think of something else. And I just want to say real quick, where the Phoenix Suns are concerned, and this is not a situation where they're laying points, but I just want to point out that maybe they're coasting a little bit because the last 2 games they've played, they've won, but they haven't really come close to covering. Real nail biters against teams they should whack. So I don't know Phoenix's interest level at this point in time, all the more reason why you might like Sacramento. Here, I think, things have started to look different for the Lakers, but I'm thinking to myself, it's funny how the Lakers look good when Anthony Davis plays without LeBron, and then they look real good when LeBron plays without Anthony Davis. If you're going to stick the 2 of them together, maybe that doesn't work. I'm not sure. It makes no sense, but it's what the results have shown us so far. I don't know why this line came down unless it's official that Anthony Davis isn't going to play. To me, that's the only reason why you would have a 2-point move toward the Pacers, is that somebody thinks Anthony Davis won't go again in this game. And if he doesn't, again, the Lakers have looked pretty good lately. I heard, maybe you saw the same LeBron interview where he really did break it down to make sense, at least to me. And it should make sense to me anyway, without him having to tell me. But new coach, new systems, new players, new this. It's going to take us a while to get used to each other. And now we're starting to get a feel for each other. Even Russell Westbrook looks a little more comfortable coming off the bench at this point in time. So I remember when we did the preseason preview, we talked about over under. They would have to get to 45 wins, and 45 and 37 is feasible because of the players on the team, but we didn't know if they would do it. They're in one of those stretches now where they look pretty good. I just can never trust their shooting, Jay. You know what I mean? I can never trust that they're going to take the court and not go 3 for 16, 3 for 18 in a stretch from 3-point range and just ruin the game. So I'm not on it. The Lakers haven't shown me a lot of defensive capability. Indiana shows zero defensive capability. They want to score. If you're a prop player, this is another one that I had circled tonight. Buddy Hield. 3 of his last 4 games has been terrible. He had one good game, I think the one before last. So 3 out of 4 he's been bad, and his most recent one was bad. I played him in a bounce back effort the game before. He did cover his PRA. I think Buddy Hield could be a good prop play here against the Lakers. I don't see them defending him very much. So that would probably be my best look in this game. Some form of Buddy Hield, either Buddy Hield points and rebounds, something. But I think Buddy Hield props would work here.
Yep, no, you said it right there. That's the one thing I don't think a lot of people are thinking about. Buddy Hield and Turner have been lobbying to play for the Lakers. Seems like forever now. So actually could have been a look-ahead game for them yesterday versus the Clippers. It was a super early start as well. This is a late-night game, Rob. I do think that at some point the Pacers will like bottom out on this West Coast road trip. Obviously, it's an East Coast team. They're on a 7-game road trip. This is the second game, so may not catch up to them just yet. I'd lean Pacers first half and full game here. I think, like you said, Buddy Hield's going to want to show out. Miles Turner as well is going to want to show out. Hey, look, Lakers, look at me. Make a trade for me so I can make your team better. So there's one narrative here where I don't think a lot of people are thinking. Lakers coming out there, 1-5 the last 6 games. This is not the Spurs, guys. You're not putting up, you know what I'm saying? So the Spurs are absolute punching bag right now. I like that the Lakers got a couple wins, scored 143 points, but now you're actually facing a young team that's playing hard. This is somewhat the young guys versus the old guys. Well, Benedict Mathurin coming off the bench. Tyrese Halliburton is hitting his assist props damn near every single game now. So Halliburton, Mathurin, even guys like Jaden Smith, like I said, Miles Turner as well. They're going to come to ball tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers literally left it all out there on the floor and did whatever they could to go all out for a win here. If the 3-point shots are falling, Pacers could get the win. If they're not, I mean, they could lose this game. So I don't even think it's up to LeBron and AD here. I think it's more on the Pacers if they continue to play their game and run and gun as well, right? The way the Pacers run and gun, they could run the Lakers off the floor tonight, guys. So the Pacers the only way I could look in this game. I don't agree with the Lakers being the favorite here. I didn't agree with it being them open up at 5 as well. So it's a back-to-back for the Pacers. They didn't have to travel anywhere. This is a young team as well. So I'd lean Pacers. It's a tough game for me. It's not something that I bet, but I'd lean to the Pacers here, Ryan. Anything else on this one before we get to the commercial?
Yeah, no, I think everything we said here stands to reason, Jay. Again, I would look at Buddy Hield props for the reason you're pointing out. It's a game that probably is meaningful to him, and because he's way too good of a shooter to continue the way he shot yesterday, the last game. So I like that. I like that more than anything in the game. The totals, I got to tell you, Jay, the totals have gotten way out of control now. You know, every day you got to look at this thing and say 2 high-scoring teams, but can I get to 240? It's so hard when you watch these games for teams to get to 240. It's got to be like an all-star game for that to happen. So I don't know that I could look total here. As we speak, I'm looking at 2.5s popping up on that, which would lead me to believe that maybe Anthony Davis doesn't go, Jay. And if he doesn't go, very quickly, of course it takes away from their offense, but I think LeBron coming in provides what AD would do point-wise, but it certainly takes away from any defense at the rim. Which would indicate Miles Turner, as you mentioned before, another guy who wants to be a Laker. Those 2 guys that were lobbying to be Lakers could not only have motivation, but could have fundamental advantages that big nights here.
Yeah, they have a ton of motivation. We know Buddy Hield, the biggest Kobe fan, he's going to want to show out tonight, my guys. So the only way I could look in this game is Pacers first half and full game, guys. Now let's get to some free picks as we do every single day. First, we're going to check out this commercial from our great guys over at Wager Talk, like my guy Rob as well, guys. Please check out the commercial.
Whether you are a current Wager Talk TV subscriber, a fan of the extensive amount of free betting information we release, or a client of one of our incredible lineup of handicappers at Wager Talk or Sports Memo, we thank you. Thanksgiving is a holiday loaded with traditions, and we started one of our traditions years ago. Get a 7-day all sports all access from any handicapper for just $69. That's under $10 per day and just $10 more than a 3-day all access. So whether you're traveling, have a house full of relatives, or just sitting back relaxing with an incredible week of sports, you can do so with the convenience of a 7-day pass. There's no coupon needed, and you can choose as many services as you'd like. This Thanksgiving special will be available through Cyber Monday, November 28th, all for just $69. Thank you again for being part of the Wager Talk and Sports Memo family.
Yes, sir, my guys. Go check us out. No promo code needed. For less than $10 a day, you can get some plays. 7 days, $69 over there at wagertalk.com. Rob, what do you have going at Wager Talk? How you been doing it? Any free plays for us today?
Yeah, and let's say this again, Jay. Every time I'm on here on Monday, let's remind everybody it's $9 Monday at wagertalk.com. So if you're ever going to test out a handicap for $9, it's probably the time to do it. Up and available today, this afternoon, I'm going to release a couple of football plays early in the week here that you can get for $9 rather than, me releasing them later in the week and you having to pay more for it. So $9 Monday over at wagertalk.com. You can get my NBA stuff over there as well each and every day. And you can find us, all the work we do, like Ruby just said in that commercial, all the video work and analysis we do on every single game, no matter what sport. Get it all at wagertalk.com. If you're not currently a member, hop over there, just put in your email address. It's free. And then all of a sudden you have access to at least all the video free content you can find and all the free plays that are written over there at wagertalk.com. Now, as for free plays, Jay, I'm going to go back to the Cleveland-Toronto game because I think it's the one that stands out to me the most. And what stands out to me the most is the total of what's now 215. Toronto had played 10 of 11 games dating back to the last game of last month, over the number of 215, 10 out of 11. Mm-hmm. And then the last two came and they shot lousy. But you know what didn't change was their defense still wasn't good. The percentage they're giving up from the field to their opponents recently is not very Toronto-esque. I wouldn't expect, even if guys come back, that they get their defensive communication back right away. I think, plus Cleveland, when you have Mitchell and Garland on the floor, you can score on anybody anyway. Evan Mobley, whatever. So to me, 215 is a little too low. Cleveland's off a poor shooting game as well yesterday. It's why they had so much trouble in the first half. I think 215 is just too low here. So give me that Toronto, Cleveland over 215. As we say on your show, Jay, official over 215 Toronto.
I like it. And I like to say official, like a referee blowing the whistle as well, my guys. I like that over with you. Couldn't talk you off, especially without Jared Allen as well. Definitely going to help out with that over there, Rob. I couldn't talk you off. I'd lean that same way. Would like to lean towards the Cavs early in this one. They do have the better shooters, in my opinion. They just don't have the defender down low. So they did come out lackluster last night. Maybe they could bounce back tonight. Would lean that way. Would lean Pelicans as well. Let's see, leaning Hawks. Well, let's wait on Embiid to come back in. Embiid's back in there. Right. I'll definitely be putting a little something on the Hawks in that one. Leaning the Bulls as well, plus the 2, plus the 1.5. Even if marketing goes, I still think the Bulls can get the win in that one. Leaning Kings as well with my guy Rob here, and then Pacers first half full game. That's the only way I could look in that game. I really do think they were looking ahead to this one. Didn't care about their Clippers game yesterday, but Benedict Mathurin, has Halliburton, but definitely Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I feel like they've really had this game circled. So nothing's guaranteed, but I would be surprised if the Pacers ran the Lakers out of the floor tonight, my guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Go check us out. Go check out my guy Rob at Wager Talk. Hit the like button, subscribe. Also retweet the show on Twitter as well, guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's Us Against the Bookies. Let's get this cash, guys. We out.